Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the August 27th meeting of the Brighton Town Board. I'm Bill Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor. It's great to see so many people here with us tonight. We have a couple proclamations, and I know many of you are here for those proclamations. I also want to let everyone know that the Town Board held a workshop meeting starting at 3:30 this afternoon. One of our two annual budget workshops. Every year we hold two budget workshops in August at which our department heads come in and present their budgets as part of our development of the budget process. We had the first one of those meetings last Wednesday, August 20th, also at 3:30 right here. And then we did it again today. It's a lot of work, and I appreciate all the time that our department heads put into not only putting their budgets together, but preparing them to present them to us. From here, the schedule continues. We will be completing our capital improvement plan. We do a 3-year capital improvement plan every year. The law doesn't require us to do so, but the state comptroller recommends it, and we find it to be a very effective planning tool. We do that in September. We hold 2 public hearings on our budget in October, and I expect that we will adopt the town budget at our second board meeting in October. So that's just a little information about how our budget works. And also how tonight's meeting works. We do have a couple of proclamations, and after that we will have our open forum. The open forum is the opportunity that we have at the start of every town board meeting, and we do have agendas out in the hallway if you didn't get one on the way in. But the open forum is the opportunity for members of the public to come in and speak with the town board about really anything. It could be something that's on the budget or on the agenda, rather, or any other matter relating to the town, and we're happy to hear you. I'll go through the procedure for doing that in just a minute, but I also want to note that as we have done for many years now, really thanks to the initiative from Councilmember Corrado, all of our town board meetings are interpreted by our ASL interpreters. Tonight, Samantha Geffen and Michael Fisher are our 2 interpreters. So thank you very much for making our meetings accessible to the community. As I mentioned, the agenda is available outside on the table. If you're watching us remotely on YouTube, or rather on our live stream, we will download it to YouTube later. You'll have a chance to get the agenda online at the Town of Brighton's webpage, www.townofbrighton.org. Now I would ask, if you're physically able to do so, please rise. Otherwise, rise in spirit. Join us with a pledge to the flag. Councilmember Salzman, I'll ask you to lead us. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before we get to the proclamations, we have seen another terrible school shooting today in the state of Minnesota. It happens again, it happens again, it happens again. And we know that we have to do better. We know these young people were praying. Thoughts and prayers. Thoughts and prayers are not a bad thing, but they're not enough. And we're going to be talking about that later tonight. But I would ask for a moment of silence in memory of the people shot and the people killed today in Minneapolis. Thank you. We do have two proclamations tonight. And for the first one, I'm going to ask Councilmember Corrado to join me. And I'm going to have everybody that would like to join from the League of Women Voters to come on out. So yesterday, August 26th, is celebrated every year in this country as Women's Equality Day. Why? To celebrate the adoption of the 19th Amendment of the Constitution in 1920, giving women the right to vote. I was mortified a couple of weeks ago to see that the Secretary of Defense had the unmitigated gall to share a video of someone suggesting that women should not vote, that families should vote, get one vote, and that women shouldn't be the one casting that vote. I don't want to make this a political statement or anything else, but that's just wrong. That's just wrong. And in the home of Susan B. Anthony, maybe we got to go out there and teach those folks something, because Susan B. Anthony worked her entire life with many, many others to make sure that women, and all women, Susan B. Anthony, as we know, worked with Frederick Douglass, worked with other leaders to make sure that all women would vote. All women over the 18 and over vote today that are citizens, and we're going to make sure that we keep it that way. Women's Equality Day is not just another one of those, it's not a throwaway. Today, when we have a cabinet member talking that way, this is something real. This is something we have to address and make sure that people know that, yes, Women's Equality Day, we got to fight for it. Like we have to fight for a lot these days. So I'm going to, I've asked Councilmember Corrado to join me here at the podium. Councilmember Wilt was not able to be here tonight, or there would have been three of us from the board up here at the podium, but we will take turns reading the paragraphs from this proclamation. Whereas the courageous and dedicated women who marched, advocated, and organized for the right to vote finally saw their efforts become a reality on August 26, 1920, when the 19th Amendment was certified and the right for women to vote was realized. And
whereas 6 months before women's right to vote became a reality, Carrie Chapman Catt founded the League of Women Voters to prepare, educate, and inspire the 20 million new women voters in exercising their hard-won right. And
whereas over a century later, the League of Women Voters of the Metro Rochester area continues to uphold the charge of being a nonpartisan political organization which encourages informed and active participation of citizens in government and influences public policy through education and advocacy by their membership of women and men. And
whereas Women's Equality Day reminds us that we must continue to fight for the esteemed value of equality and protect our constitutional rights as they are stripped away, just as the constitutional right to abortion was eliminated, setting in motion a cascade of consequences leading many states to ban abortion. And
whereas while we herald the accomplishments of the litany of women who secured women's right to vote, we are acutely aware that great challenges remain for women and girls everywhere. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and the members of the Brighton Town Council call on all residents to observe Women's Equality Day each year on August 26th. And we do hereby applaud the ongoing work of the League of Women Voters of the Metro Rochester area for their stabilizing, nonpartisan contributions to transparency and truth in politics, policy, and that most sacred of American institutions, voting. And this proclamation is signed this 27th day of August, 2025, by the members of the town board that are here tonight. It gives me great pleasure to present this to Vice President of the Rochester League of Women Voters, Julia Burns. And I'd like to say a few words.
I have just a couple sentences.
Perfect.
And I also had Carrie Chapman-Catt on my mind, so I'd like to thank.
If you take just the microphone there.
I'd like to thank the board and the town of Brighton for recognizing that I need reading glasses. The importance of Women's Equality Day and the tireless work of the League of Women Voters. As we stand witness to this moment in history that we are living through, I would like to offer the words of Carrie Chapman-Catt, who in 1919 had the proposal to establish the League of Women Voters and saw it as a mechanism to, quote, finish the fight and aid in the reconstruction of the nation. Over 100 years later, the roots in our grassroots organization are deeper, and our nonpartisan stance even more powerful and necessary to finish the fight and to aid in the reconstruction of our nation amidst our present constitutional crisis. Thank you to the board. Thank you.
For our second proclamation, I'm going to ask Councilmember Chris Werner to join me at the podium. And I would welcome everyone here from the Be Smart Kids Coalition. Come on up. Last night, the city council, was it city council or no, it was the county executive and the mayor
Yesterday morning.
who yesterday morning jointly advocated for the agenda of gun safety and safe storage in particular. But back in 2019, I believe, Councilmember Werner and our chief of police worked in collaboration to draft, advocate, and ultimately pass unanimously here in the town board the first safe gun storage law that any town in Monroe County had adopted. I believe we're still the only town in Monroe County.
The city, of course, has somewhat similar.
Right, exactly. But tonight we are recognizing Smart Week. And why Smart Week? It's an acronym. Secure all guns in homes and vehicles. Model, model responsible behavior around guns. Ask, about the presence of unsecured firearms in other homes your child may visit. R, recognize the role of guns in suicide. T, tell your peers, be smart. And thanks to the story I just told, and thanks to the hard work of Chris Werner and our police chief, I can say that in Brighton we are smart, because in 2019 we passed the Town of Brighton Safe Storage Law. We know that laws like our safe storage law are common sense protection for families in Brighton. We're proud to have taken this action, and we encourage other communities to adopt similar legislation. So now, just like Councilmember Corrado and I did a moment ago for the first proclamation, Chris, let's tag team this proclamation. Whereas tonight we honor the second annual Smart Week, which runs from August 25th through 29th, to remind us all that guns are the #1 killer of children and teens in the United States. Not diseases or natural disasters, but destructive instruments manufactured for destruction and the taking of life.
And whereas SMART stands for Secure All Guns in Your Homes and in Your Vehicles. Model responsible behavior around guns. Ask about unsecured guns in other homes. Recognize the role of guns in suicide. And tell your peers to be smart. And
whereas more than half of all gun owners do not lock all of their guns securely, and an estimated 4.6 million children live in a home with at least one unlocked and loaded gun in the United States. And
whereas the town of Brighton is committed to creating a safe environment for all residents and visitors.
And whereas part of that effort is reflected in our 2019 Firearm Storage and Safety Local Law, the goal of which is to strengthen public safety and promote safe, responsible gun ownership by mandating the storage of firearms in locked containers, the use of gun locks, and the reporting of lost or stolen firearms. And
whereas the town of Brighton applauds the local collaboration of various gun safety organizations in promoting the Be Smart program developed by the Everytown for Gun Safety Support Fund, and will continue to advocate for gun safety.
now therefore be it proclaimed that I, William W. Maley, Brighton Town Supervisor, and all of the members of the Brighton Town Council do hereby proudly support Smart Week and ask all Brightonians to take the message of gun safety seriously and be smart. This proclamation is signed today, this 27th day of August, 2025, by the members of the town board that are here with us. And Councilmember Werner has a couple of those gun locks right here. Thank you, Chief. We want to make sure that people who may not be as familiar with how these gun locks work, if you are a gun owner and are interested in having a gun lock to keep your home safe, Chief, they can come to the Brighton Police Department.
Yeah, come right to the front counter. I think the town clerk's office has them as well. Yeah.
And do you have to be a resident, Chief?
No, we'll give them to anybody that requests them.
So please, folks, lock up your guns. These are very simple to use, and they're free.
Thank you, and thank you all for coming tonight. I'll present you this. Say a few words, any or all
We
of
always
you.
take an opportunity.
Would you folks like?
Stop.
All right,
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Unintended.
Yes. Secure firearm storage saves lives. I think we can agree that we all want to keep our families safe. Storing guns locked and separately from ammunition will do that. We know that nearly 360 children unintentionally shoot themselves or someone else every year in this country. Secure storage could prevent these tragic deaths. In addition, almost 700 children kill themselves with a gun that they've accessed in their own home or in that of a family member. Secure storage could prevent many of those deaths as well. So please, be smart for our children. And thank you to the town of Brighton for leading the way in this fight.
Thank you. It's about, if you're a gun owner, it's about being a responsible gun owner.
Exactly.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get your group photo? It's part of the ride.
Do you want a group photo? Okay. All right. Let's do it.
Oh, great. Thank you so much.
I definitely want back group pictures here.
Okay, everybody this way.
This way? Okay, well, then let me shift around here.
Yes, thank you. You were totally good.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I don't mean to interrupt. I want to make sure she's in. Can you just move close to this? Move close to this place? Okay. Sorry, I just want everybody to know.
You see everybody.
Yes.
Don't anybody cut my hair.
This might be on the 6 o'clock news tomorrow morning.
All right.
11 o'clock.
Thank you.
Thank you. And although you're welcome to stay, don't feel you have to.
Thanks, Christie.
You're welcome. Thank you for spearheading that in the past.
Okay. We will now begin our open forum. As I mentioned earlier, we hold our open forum at the start of every town board meeting. The open forum is an opportunity for members of the public, regardless of where you live, to address the town board concerning any matter relevant to the town of Brighton, whether or not it's on the agenda tonight. If you're here in person, when we get started, I'll just ask you to raise your hand. When I call on you, please come to the podium to speak. If you are participating in the meeting remotely and you wish to speak during the open forum, you'll have to first join the meeting on Teams. And if you don't already know how to do that, there are detailed instructions and a link on the town's web page. You'll be unmuted and given the opportunity to speak remotely. I do ask all speakers during the open forum, whether in person or speaking remotely, to please state your name and address before speaking. Please limit your remarks to 3 minutes, and I will give you a 30-second warning before your time expires. If you have more to say, feel free to submit written remarks to us. If you have questions, we may not be able to answer those questions. We may or may not. But if the question relates to a matter that's not on tonight's agenda, it's very possible we won't be able to answer the question. But we do want to have the opportunity to hear your words, to hear your question, to let other people hear your words. So please direct your remarks to the town board and not to the room or to other speakers. Please avoid personal attacks and outbursts of any kind, including applause or boos during the open forum, out of respect for the other speakers in the room. Also, out of respect, I don't see any signs, but we don't allow people to hold up signs during the meeting to block. They might block the view of others. Persons who don't follow these rules will be warned. Repeated failure to disregard these rules or failure to follow other directions from the chair may result in your speaking privileges being ended early or being directed to leave the meeting. So with that, we'll now begin the open forum. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak to the town board during the open forum? Come on up.
Hi, good evening. The attorney in me is going to find it really hard to get this in under 3 minutes, but I'm going to try my best. So, hi, my name is Greg Nearpass. I live at 248 South Landing Road in the town of Brighton. My wife and I have lived there for 19 years, and just want to speak to the board tonight about kind of the ongoing work that's going on in the road. I'll say, I did receive the notice, from the town, and it was just a little unclear kind of exactly what was happening. We just happened to be on vacation last week and kind of wasn't sure what was going on. The notice really doesn't mention speed humps at all. It doesn't talk about their removal. It doesn't talk about whether or not they're going to be installed upon completion. So I do want to just state that we, strongly oppose the removal of the speed humps. If hindsight's 20/20, but if the kind of concern of the residents was paramount, I think it would have been a better approach to have been approached to solicit that feedback before removing them. And whether intentional or not, it kind of feels like we're now trying to fight to get something back that we had taken from us that we never wanted to see it go in the first place. I think it's important to talk about why the town installed those speed humps in the first place. I think there were 3 primary reasons for that. Number 1, South Landing Road is a residential neighborhood. Number 2, there are no continuous sidewalks on the street. And number 3, there's no eastbound access to 490 off of Penfield Road. And so what that results in is South Landing Road being used as a cut-through. And those 3 facts have remained unchanged in the 19 years that I've lived there. And if anything, the residential nature and use of the neighborhood has increased. I mean, we walk all 3 of our kids to school. Most other parents do as well. And more than just the kids, I mean, the road and the neighborhood is used, throughout the day, whether it's people walking their dogs, riding their bikes, jogging. It really is a residential neighborhood. I mean, Mr. Supervisor, you used to live on that street. You were there when we closed. You were there when we closed it down for the Halloween parade, and I think you came back a couple times after you moved, and so that this is a quiet residential neighborhood. But I mean, you also know that road is a cut through, and that those speed humps, are necessary as a traffic calming measure. I mean, are they perfect? No. Perfect would be continuous sidewalks and an eastbound access to 490 off of Penfield Road. But we don't have that. So short of that, the speed humps really do provide the best kind of traffic mitigation and traffic calming device that we have. And my fear is if they're not replaced immediately upon completion of the work, that will result in an increase in speed on the road, and it will significantly increase the risk of accidents or an injury, especially with school starting next week. So I had a closing remark, but I will just say that it is important for the neighborhood, and not just to be heard, but to have this safety measure kept in place. We appreciate the town putting it in, and we hope it remains. Thank you.
Thank you. Let me, I just want to, I do want to say a few things, and certainly welcome. First, I have heard, well, let me back up a little bit. Obviously, the town and our Highway Superintendent, Bill Hafner, is here as well. During the course of repaving South Landing Road or any other street with speed humps, the speed humps have to be removed as part of that process. So the speed humps were removed, I don't disagree with your 2020 hindsight. It's pretty good. We probably could have communicated earlier and more strongly that the fact that they were being removed did not mean that they were being removed, that it was really for purposes of construction. But we also wanted to know what we wanted to hear the temperature on the street. Do residents on the street still want the speed humps? We were talking before with a couple of other neighbors that when they were first put in, they were the source of some controversy. Some people liked them, some people didn't. And emergency service providers have concerns with them as well. So we wanted to hear from the residents. And we heard loud and clear, didn't we, Bill?
Yes, we have.
And I appreciate that. I'm going to have this communication from Mr. and Mrs. Winslow, who live at 316, put into the record. But I heard from a number of people on South Landing, as well as a couple on Bufford and Cromwell. And almost to a person, the message was, yes, we want speed humps on South Landing. So Mr. Hafner and I had a conversation about that, and given that the clear direction of opinion on the street, we are going to, when the project is done, and the project won't be done until the speed humps are back. They will be restored. The speed humps will be coming back in. I think it's important to know that, they were removed on that temporary basis. And we appreciate hearing, there's no better way to hear, local government is the government closest to the people. And to be able to be there, and yes, on a street that I know well and love, having lived there for 20 years. I'm glad we heard from you all and from the people who couldn't be here tonight. So that's our plan. And Bill, can you talk about, we were talking before that we'll probably, we may use a contractor to.
Yeah, we're gonna have to contract those out, just because it's, we're busy right now, with paving other streets. And they can get in there and they can get it done a lot quicker, more efficient than we can.
Can I just ask you one quick question about restriping the road? Is that going to be?
We were not going to put the center stripe back in. It's supposed to be a traffic calming method.
Yeah,
that
100%.
Originally that was our initial plan, was to not put the speed humps in and not put the center line in, and see if the traffic calming, that method actually works, and try and collect some data. But we heard the voice from the people, so you want the speed humps back in, and I think that's important for.
Okay. So they'll be both then, right?
Right.
That's
right.
great.
Well, they won't do one. They won't do the center line, right?
Correct.
Right, there will be no
Yeah.
line.
No line,
humps.
but there will be humps and
You will come
back in the
to
same
Halloween
location.
Parade.
I will come back to the Halloween parade. I look forward to that invitation. That was always a fun afternoon.
I must say,
I
if you
can't
see
hear-
a striping truck out there, though, it's just to do the intersections at the stop signs. They're going to go about 100 feet in off either end.
Gotcha.
So.
Good. We welcome your remarks, though.
Thank you. Yeah, another resident of South Landing 83, Fran Zablocki. I feel like I am both late to the party and that Bill stole my thunder, so I don't really have too much to add. Other than thank you. I do live on, where there's the hill going down, and I'm a pretty hard guy to miss, but I've definitely had some close calls while checking my mail, because people, even with the humps at the top of the hill, once they get past that part, they have a little bit of fun and just kind of scoot down the hill, and it's good. It's just good having it at either end of the road in order to keep people a little bit honest. And I agree with the cut through. We've had a couple accidents on 490 that have made it traffic really, really heavy. Obviously, people are already agitated because they're getting rerouted. Really aggressive driving, so it can only help to have that kind of thing. So I appreciate the town's attention to it, and thanks.
Thank you. I'm glad you mentioned the hill, too, because we also have some design guidelines for speed humps. The reason there isn't a hump on the hill itself is because the grade is too steep. I don't remember the exact angle, but that grade we don't want them on. We also don't want them within close proximity. You've obviously got a couple of more or less 90-degree turns on South Landing. Our guidelines keep them away from those immediate turns, largely for visibility's sake, but also the turns themselves, of course, are traffic calming devices. But we'll be putting them back in and the same number in the same places.
Absolutely. The study was done 25 years ago, and there's the most suitable places for the speed humps in that road.
What is the estimated completion time?
We're going to pave it September 16th and 17th. Notices will go out, and then it's going to be in October, honestly, when they do go back in. Yeah.
Good. And if anyone else would like to speak, feel free. Having stolen your thunder.
Yeah, I don't want to take much time. My name is Brian Spence. I live at 263 Landing Road South, and it's great to have a bunch of backup here. My wife had made some calls, and she was told that the humps weren't coming back, which is why I think we all got riled up. So it's great to hear that it will be coming back. Just one thing that, in kind of relation to this, and it's just my issue at my house and as well over my neighbor here. I live at the bottom of the water flow along the side of the street on the gutter goes both directions. It comes right in front of my house, and all we have is this grate that lays flat. And every single time it rains, even if it's fairly light, leaves lay on top of it, and I get a giant lake in front of my house. Not only is that annoying for the time it takes for it to clear off, but we've had sinkhole issues and some serious ones. And there's you can see we have a rock wall, and it's sunk down below street level basically. So it's pretty significant. And I don't know why the gutter along the side of the road is just flat and just goes straight off to the grass. Why do we don't have the vertical curbs to have the water flow
Yeah. I can't speak to why it was designed that way. I probably wasn't even working at the highway department. Sure.
Yeah. But it's just something I would like to suggest.
Did you get his address?
What was that address?
263. I'm right across from where the bridge is, I don't know, it's like half a bridge, I guess, but that's...
towards the 441.
Yep. And not only that, but last year I had to have my entire sewage line replaced because we've had so much water sitting there. And
we do encourage everybody who has a storm drain in front of their house to clear leaves this time of year, another month or two when the leaves are falling.
It doesn't matter how, I have a rake, and all the neighbors, we run out there and try and rake it off. They come so quick, and it, overnight, it just, it's bad. It's bad.
Well, we'll have, if you can take a look at that.
See if there's anything we can do as far as regrading while we're paving it.
Perfect. Yeah, I thought maybe it was a better time to.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Out there.
It's a good time to follow up, absolutely. Thank you. Anyone else like to address the board during the open forum? Hearing none, thank you for coming. Again, you're welcome to stay, but don't feel you have to. Councilmember Werner, can I have a motion to approve the agenda with the addition of this communication about the South Landing Road speed humps from Sue and Floyd Winslow, 316 South Landing Road?
Yes, sir. Bill, I move that we approve the agenda with the addition of the communications from the Winslows.
Second.
And the clerk does have a copy of that message as well. Any discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. We have no public hearings tonight, no other communications.
Actually, if I may back up to the communications.
Sure.
The conversation about South Landing Road.
Yes.
Is there a communication that we can send out to the residents on South Landing Road?
Yeah.
I think the various council members at the table have received,
Yep, absolutely.
and we would like to be in concert in our response.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep, thank you. We have no public hearings, we have no other communications. Committee reports. I know Councilmember Wilt is not here.
And I neglected to bring the Community Services Committee notes. Let
Okay.
me see very quickly if.
Just some of the
this was late
upcoming,
news.
the
Well,
upcoming
we
events.
announced some upcoming events. One of particular interest to Councilmember Werner and his marvelous wife. Councilmember Werner has kindly sponsored the final community bike ride of the season. The bike ride will be on, the group ride will be on September 12th, leaving a little earlier than the other rides because the sun sets a little earlier. Kickstands up at, gathering at 5:30, kickstands up at 6 o'clock. These are a series of rides that we've developed in collaboration with Reconnect Rochester, and it's a chance to check out how to get around Brighton on 2 wheels instead of 4. And I should add that the starting point is Cobb's Hill Park, and
Where in Cobb's Hill?
by the, is it the Tay House? The information.
Tay House, the Boy
Yes.
Scout, where the,
Yes.
Tay-
Where
the Tay House?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep, and please
The
register.
hill at the, at Tay House or
You know what?
at the entrance?
Here's what I'm going to say. Go to townofbrighton.org/rec, click on the catalog, and register for the ride. It's free, but we'd like you to register and sign waivers, and the meeting location is indicated there.
Great.
So, and you'll be riding, yes?
Yes.
Excellent. Other events coming up.
Starts in the city, huh?
Well, you know what? Part of the point is that Brighton is adjacent to a lot of resources in the city, and you can pedal your way there. If anybody wants to join me, I'm probably going to put my bike on the number 11 bus on Monroe Avenue and get off near Cobb's Hill. So I'm going to save myself a mile and change of riding so that I get to the start point without having to pedal all the way there.
Downhill from,
Yeah, no, it's uphill to Cobb's Hill. But
It's certainly uphill to the Tay House.
so that's why I'm saying, don't take my word for it.
Starting
Check the-
starting location per the website, Lake Riley Lodge, Cobb's Hill Park, 100 Norris Drive.
There we go.
And that's a very different location.
Not Tay House.
Yes.
That is near
to
Culver.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you, Dan.
A little less climbing of a hill. Other upcoming events,
We will have our annual, well, our semi-annual electronics recycling and paper shredding in October.
that is October 27th, Sunday for the fall. And,
Our Tuesday Town Talks.
I'm sorry? Mighty Motors already happened, and it was excellent, I understand. I missed it due to
was
family
excellent.
commitment, but I believe Councilmember Salzman was there.
I was there.
Great job.
Councilmember Salzman was there with a
Yes.
couple of very cute
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
young'uns.
Mariano's favorite thing in the world. He had the best time. And he still wears his construction hat around the house. I have videos to show you.
We also have our Tuesday Town Talks in the month of October.
And they will not all be on Tuesdays.
No, they will not.
They are just town talks.
They are
this
town
fall.
talks because actually there's some on Tuesday and some on Thursday.
Yes, to work around the.
Because of the high holy
holidays.
days. But, so a lot coming up.
Yes. Yep.
Brighton Homecoming is coming up next month.
Yep, with the
but
World's Shortest
we'll-
Parade.
We'll get all of that information.
Absolutely. I'm glad you mentioned the town talks, though. One of the themes is getting around Brighton when you can't drive, whether your option is bike or otherwise. We will have a panel discussion, and that talk will be delivered during the Week Without Driving, a national effort to bring folks up to, bring those who have choices in how to get around to understand how those who don't have choices get around their communities. So stay tuned for more on
that.
Thank you. Thank you. Finance and Administrative Services. Nate.
Thanks, Bill. Finance and Administrative Services last met on August 20th. Most of what we talked about is on today's agenda. I'll point out one item here. You will see on the agenda a change order for INX architecture. That is so we can do a ground penetrating radar survey, which will help our construction crews out there, and Glenn, tell me if I'm getting anything wrong here, more efficiently and safely do their work.
Yeah, and essentially, it's going to do a survey of the underground utilities and any voids in the ground that may be under there. And this transpired, or this action transpired, was a result of us finding a couple of unmarked utilities and water lines, and also some voids that were found under the ground that unfortunately caused an excavator to fall into the trench that they were digging. So this is going to identify existing utilities, some unknown utilities that may be there, voids. So when we go to phase 2, we'll have as many unknowns identified, which will aid in our ability to finalize the design and also not have unnecessary change orders when we do that work.
Great, thank you, Glenn. You'll also see, actually, I don't believe this is on the agenda, but it's something that we've all talked about, that we're all very excited about. An intermunicipal agreement with Monroe County DOT to move forward with sidewalk installations along Allens Creek, Clover Street, Elmwood Avenue, Edgewood Avenue, and Westfall Road. That's a project that we're partnering with a 50% match grant to complete those sidewalks, which is a really great project. And kudos to the team for finding that opportunity with the county. And I know I was actually stopped walking Mariano the other day because some neighbors were so excited about the sidewalks along Allens Creek and Westfall Road. So,
well, I'm glad you mentioned that because Councilmember Corrado and I were both downtown at a rally that Reconnect Rochester hosted. There were over 100 cyclists who had ridden from Genesee Valley Park down to Parcel 5. The county executive spoke, the deputy mayor spoke, I spoke. Some cycling advocates spoke, and in my remarks, I really tried to show the contrast between the county, who talk about putting your money where your mouth is.
Yeah.
This is a $10 million grant that the county put forward to encourage local municipalities like Brighton to build sidewalks along county roads. The town of Brighton will be receiving $1.2 million in grant money to build almost 1.6 miles of sidewalks along, and you named some of the streets, Elmwood, Westfall, Allens Creek, Clover, Edgewood, connecting gaps in our sidewalk system, making sure that as many neighborhoods can get to schools, making sure that we continue to develop our sidewalk linkage, which connects to our trail linkages. So thank you to the county for putting their money where their mouth is. And we were there also to advocate to the state. We want to make sure that the state, we'd love to see the state do something similar. We have state, if you drive through the county, state roads have the numbers, right? Mm-hmm. Monroe Avenue is a state road, it's 31. West Henrietta Road is 15. East Henrietta Road is 15A. Those are state roads. And in many cases, particularly when you get outside of Brighton, they don't have sidewalks. So we would love to see similar incentives, and we would also love to see the state follow the county's example in encouraging road diets, getting bike lanes. We had to fight on East Avenue. We got a 4-foot shoulder. It's really not a bike lane. We want 5-foot shoulders. A 5-foot shoulder can be marked as a bike lane. That's important for safety. We appreciate the county. We know that, we've been working with the state DOT on the Monroe Avenue design, and we're going to have community meetings on that, I expect before the end of this year. That's one of the things we want to continue to advocate to the state, to make sure that we follow the policies of complete streets, so that the streets we build in the 21st century are not just for cars. They're for cars, yes, but they're for cyclists, they're for pedestrians, they're for transit. It's really important that our TS be at the table. Our TS has dropped the ball in Brighton. We want everybody at the table, we want good communications, and we want main arterial streets that can serve all of the community. So.
Amen. Not much to add to that. I will say our next meeting is on September 3rd at 8:30 a.m.
Thank you, Nate. Public safety.
Thanks, Bill.
Chris.
We had our public safety meeting on August 14th, and we first started with a presentation by the University of Rochester's Mobile Stroke Unit Prevention. It was a tremendous and very educational presentation on how important it is to call 911 if you suspect someone is having a stroke, and the Mobile Stroke Unit Prevention Unit can show up at your house. They're a very quick response. They're centrally located in the county. And one thing I learned as well is my tendency is to do things myself. If someone is having a stroke, do not just throw people in the car and drive to the hospital, because you will get in the queue to be seen at the emergency room. Better that you call the ambulance. They will attend to the victim of the stroke immediately. While en route, call the hospital en route and be met at the door and taken in for treatment.
And you know what blew my mind that I didn't know, despite all the times I've seen? They have, they will do a CAT scan. They have a CAT scanner in the back of that van, because there's two different kinds of strokes.
That's right.
And the treatment for them is very, very different. So by the time you get to the hospital, they will know what kind of stroke you have had. It's really a remarkable piece of equipment.
If you have a bleed, then that's what's causing the stroke-like symptoms. The clot buster will just exacerbate the situation. If it's a blood clot that's caused the stroke, then you want to have that medication administered. So it was very, very helpful, and I think perhaps we'll have it presented here more generally to the public, because it was a very worthwhile and to-the-point program. The fire department.
If I may interrupt,
yes, please.
the library and the senior program have both received information and connected with the coordinating staff member, and they will be taking those presentations to the rest of the community.
Beautiful.
That's terrific. That's great. Thanks, Christine. The fire department reported on their services for the month. No calls of any significance out of the ordinary. They provided standby services at the Buffalo Bills training camp at St. John Fishers, help me. They continue to work with the JCC and their ropes course. We had the Department of Public Works updated the French Road Bridge project, which was opened July 23rd to two-way traffic. We had some discussions about the elevation of the sidewalk and that it's on plane with the road surface, and some discussion of whether or not any kind of markings or barriers were in order. Glenn, anything more on that so far?
Ken's working on trying to get pricing for putting in like rumble strips along the side, and I think the highway had put up some, you guys put some orange
Yeah, we
markers
put up some candlesticks just temporarily, just to
Okay.
keep it safe. And there's a company out of Buffalo that actually does the rumble strips. Again, waiting for a quote from them.
Great.
Good.
Thanks, Glenn. Thanks, Bill. The police department reported on calls for service to the end of July, 25,378 calls. August 4th through 10th was speed weeks, and they issued 30 tickets for speeding. Public Safety Day will be September 21st. They've got 3 recruits in.
That's at the farmer's market.
At the farmer's market. Thanks, Bill. 3 recruits are in the police academy. Which started June the 4th and ends mid-November. Then they'll go into post-training and field training. We've got 2 lateral transfers, and we're onboarding and training those recruits. And one will start August 20. Started 2 days ago. Is that correct? No, 4 days ago. And we have another starting potentially September 6th. Animal control is going through a transition period as we look to replace our animal control officer. And a new person started August 14th. Is that right, Chief?
For animal control, yes.
No. Henrietta Fire District reported on their calls in West Brighton for July were 105, and no incidents of particular note. And also, we now have a stop signs installed on St. Regis North and Mayflower at a T intersection there. We also discussed speed limit signs on Willow Crest Drive, which will be installed shortly, I believe.
Very soon, we're just waiting for the stakeout.
Okay. The next meeting, September 9th, 0800 hours.
Thank you, Chris. Christine, Public Works.
Public Works, I'm better prepared for this one. So Public Works met immediately after Public Safety. Highlights of the discussion. We had a very good update that the New York Bricks grant application had been compiled and submitted thanks to exceptionally hard work by numerous staff, especially Sarah Krusensterna and Becky Cotter. We should hear, and that grant is seeking funding for our to-be-built community center. We should be hearing in mid-September? Mid-November. Darn it. I wished September. That would be really nice. I mean, with all the hurry to get it in. Anyway, so mid-November, we'll hear if we receive funding that will be substantial for...
we hope.
Yes, we hope. So that was exciting news. Continuing trash talk about the refuse district, the consolidated district. Staff are working with Waste Management on finalizing how residents can apply for front door service, essentially those who cannot carry their or tote their toters to the curb. Waste Management will provide at-the-door service. There needs to be an application process established. Waste Management will be getting back to us on our proposed process.
And we actually, I think everybody has agreed on exactly what the language will be looking like. We are literally waiting to get that application form under Waste Management's logo, and we'll be letting the community know that they can use that to either, as you said, get the front door service, or as some people have asked, some people are perfectly happy to continue wheeling the toter out, but the 96-gallon toter is too big. So a 64-gallon toter will also be an option using that same form.
Excellent. There was an extensive but orderly update on the town hall renovation. And Commissioner Layton, do you want to give the highlights of the progress on the project?
Yeah, so basically in a nutshell, they're continuing to do the interior work. They're finishing up on the DPW suite, putting up drywall and framing, and they're starting to move their way over to the eastern half of the building to work on the supervisors and the finance and assessors area. And the HVAC is continuing to go in, so Pipitone is working on doing the heat pumps and getting those installed. On the exterior of the building, the geothermal well, the piping has been, the well field has been capped off with gravel, and piping from that has been entered into the building. So that's ready for tying in with the interior HVAC systems, and hope for having it up and running for the wintertime to provide heat to the construction crews continuing to do the work. On the front of the building, they're making preparations for doing the 2 ADA accessible ramps. That work should be happening early September once the electrical work, the new electrical feed gets tied in. And so the new electrical feed is, RG&E is going to be running the new electrical line to the campus, I believe, starting September 2nd and 3rd. and then we'll swap out the transformer, and then that'll make room for us to actually do the construction of the two ADA acceptable ramps. So the front of the building is going to start looking a lot different in the coming weeks. And other than that, we're continuing to work on getting bids for the pricing for the solar array. We got the initial structural analysis, which shows that we'll probably only be able to put about half as many solar panels on the roof that we thought. We're just waiting for the final proposal from the vendor. But we will have solar panels proposed for this project, and it should be within the budget of the allotted amount for the solar array.
The issue is, it's an old roof. It wasn't built, the load-bearing capacity isn't what we had hoped that it would be.
Yeah.
Well, better some than none.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
and there'll be a good set of arrays up there.
Yes. Yeah. Thank you very much. It's exciting to see it looking more and more real all the time. We reviewed crosswalks. There was the question of whether or not crosswalks could be ready on Highland Avenue in time for the start of school, which starts next Tuesday.
Unfortunately, it's not going to be before school, but we're going out to lay them out tomorrow with Chad and our sign guy, and we're going to get the stakeouts called in and moving forward. Yes, they will be installed shortly, though.
That'll be very exciting to see those go in. Other crosswalks are under consideration on Penfield Road. We will hear more about the progress on determining the feasibility of those at the next Public Works meeting. But in other crosswalk news, the Edgewood Avenue at Wintergreen Way crosswalk is showing signs of progression. The sidewalk connectors have been put in, and the RRFBs and signs are coming when?
I'm going to approach at the FASC meeting to enter into the intermunicipal agreement, and I have one quote already from a vendor, and I just have to get two more. And as soon as we enter into the intermunicipal agreement, then we can move forward. So they should.
This fall.
On availability.
It's proceeding apace.
Yes,
Good.
on
Good.
availability of the equipment. Yeah. Correct.
Thank you very much for keeping that moving along. That's been
Municipal procurement can be a challenge sometimes. This is a good example of that.
Couple
It's
different
important, but
contracts
at the
that I'm
same time.
investigating
it's
that we
close.
may be able to purchase off of too. So.
good. Well, that will be very welcome there. Other hot topics in the meeting, we discussed the Browncroft Boulevard corridor improvements. Staff are connecting with the state DOT to get us updated on that project, which should be underway relatively soon.
They're looking to start construction in April or May of next year.
26, okay.
26, yes.
Excellent. A lot happens between the meeting date and now, when these are out of sync this way. That's great. And we touched on French Road Bridge and the Chelmsford Lane culvert replacement. State agreements have been finalized, and the state DOT is currently working on right-of-way mapping, so that will be proceeding apace. And modest updates on everything else, not worth repeating right now. They will be posted on the website once the minutes are approved, and the next meeting is September 9th at 9 a.m.
Thank you, Christine. We have no old business, new business. Nate, reading and approval of claims.
Yes, earlier today, I reviewed claims totaling $755,714.39. Notable claims include a payment to Baker and Taylor, Inc. For adult, young children, and children's books, young adult and children's books, for a total of $6,777.85. I brought that one up because we go to the library probably twice a week to get a whole handful of books. And especially since the Mighty Motors event, I'd say 100% of those books are about construction vehicles. So I've spent all week reading books on construction
We have
vehicles.
a spot over there for when he's old.
I was going to say, if you have an opening.
Have you gotten to Mike Mulligan's steam shovel?
No, not yet.
those of us of a
Oh,
certain age
yes.
at this table will know Mike Mulligan's Steam Shuttle.
I'm writing it down.
Gotta be.
Okay.
A must read.
All right. And you know what? I don't know if I could.
Imagine that.
I don't know if I could handle the equipment, but I could certainly point it out to you if that's any use. There's also,
You will have a new favorite book in the house when you get to Mike Mulligan's Steam Shuttle.
I appreciate the suggestion. I'm not joking. We a handful of books at a time. And so let's see. The claims all appear to be in order. Oh, I'll say this. Payment for 2025 sidewalk repair program. That total is $139,894.15. I bring that up because we were talking earlier about the cost increase for this sidewalk repair. And like the gentleman said earlier, the resident, that's really the gold standard, and that's what we're all shooting for, is to build more sidewalk, to fix sidewalk that we hear from residents is needs to be fixed, and it's all of our priorities to do that, and I think we show that with what we allocate here and during budget time.
I mean, I'll let you make the motion.
Sure. The claims appear to be in order, and I move for them to be approved.
Second.
Apropos to that, the cost of sidewalks is something people don't, I mean, they are remarkably expensive. Think of a square, a square of sidewalk
A flag.
is over $500 for that one square. Think of how many squares it takes to do your street, my street. 1.6 miles of streets that we're going to be doing under that grant. Concrete and sidewalk construction is incredibly expensive and incredibly important.
Yes.
We have a motion. It's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Who seconded that? I'm sorry.
Chris did.
Chris, thank you. Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Christine.
Sure. The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Monroe for membership in the Energy Aggregation Group for cooperative purchasing of natural gas and electricity at no additional cost to the town for a 5-year term beginning September 1, 2025 through August 31, 2030. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
This is a great program. It saves a lot of money buying in bulk. One of the things it doesn't do yet, and I had this conversation with the county executive just a couple weeks ago, renewable electricity is not currently available as an option under that agreement. I have asked the county executive that we look to find a way to offer that as an option. I don't think it has to wait for the 5-year term. I think it can be added as an option during the term of the agreement to give communities like Brighton, who have a long-standing commitment to using renewable energy whenever possible, the opportunity to do that. So I hope that before the end of this agreement, we will, have that option. But in the meantime, it's saving us money, and I do encourage that we've been in this purchasing group for many years now, and I encourage that we continue to do so. Anything further? We have a motion seconded. Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Warner.
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado.
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman.
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy.
Aye. Chris?
Next item is to authorize the Justice Court to apply for a 2025 to 2026 Justice Court Assistance Program grant for the addition of 8mm safety and security film for the court's exterior windows. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
Again, it's, the description tells the story. This will promote safety in the public safety wing. And funded through a grant. It's great to have. Further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Nate?
The next matter seeks to authorize the supervisor to execute a change order for Town Hall renovation with Inex Architecture PC in an amount not to exceed $13,975, which is within the 10% contingency. I move that we approve this motion as prepared by the attorney to the town.
Second.
Glenn, you want to?
Well, as discussed earlier in the meeting, this is for the ground penetrating radar survey to identify all utilities and voids that are under the existing pavement, which in hopes to save on change order costs in the future and allow us to do a fully detailed design that catches everything before we start construction.
Anything further? Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Christine?
Certainly. The next matter seeks to set a public hearing on September 7th at 7 p.m. for the removal and replacement of a 32-inch silver maple at 20 Bonnie Bray Avenue and a 42-inch elm at 58 Summit Drive. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
And the date of those public hearings will be, or that public hearing on those trees is September 25th.
Oh, I jumped the gun on that.
I'll second
All right.
that.
Thank you. I had a question, actually, and I don't know whether you can answer, or Bill, or maybe not while we're here. But I did go by, I always like to try to go by these houses, and at the Summit Drive property, there are two very similar trees out in front of the house. A, I want to make sure we get the right one, but B, I'm just wondering why one was chosen for removal and not the other. They look to be in fairly similar condition.
I can get you an answer for that tomorrow.
Great.
You know, Kyle
Great.
went out and he did the hazard evaluation. You know, why maybe he is writing up the other one, you know? It might be
believe
in the
that-
process.
Yeah, and I believe there was some discussion amongst the Tree Council and Conservation Board about the other tree.
Was there?
And wondering
Okay.
why only one, not the other. So
Okay.
they noted that as
Good,
well.
good, all right. Thank you very much. We have a motion, it's been seconded. Any further discussion? Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. Chris, the last item.
Is to authorize the supervisor to execute a change order for the town hall renovation with a Milestone Construction partner in an amount not to exceed $119,263. I move that we adopt the resolution before us.
Second.
This is a large change order, relatively. Two items in particular I want to highlight. One is for about $56,000 is the abatement of the window trim around the exterior windows, abating the lead paint that was used all those many years ago. We discussed a couple of different options, including encapsulating it. The sense was that would not be an attractive solution, even though it might be somewhat cheaper. This will remove that lead paint. The other large piece of this, and one that's near and dear to me, is demolishing a block wall between the supervisor's office and the hallway and the location where the vault used to be. That wall turned out not to have been structurally sound. There were actually a couple of structurally unsound walls there, the hallway wall, but also the wall between my office and my assistant's office, which answered the question, why did the paint keep cracking on those walls? And we were very fortunate that that vault that was in there did not fall through to the bottom floor. So there are significant expenses. That one's about $51,000. But they are really important, the lead paint abatement, and then this one, the structural integrity of that wall. The others are, you know, $800 for adding window stops to windows, $1,300 modifying the size of furring strips in the ground floor assembly room. Small things that construction people enjoy. Any further discussion? Anything I missed, Glenn? Anything?
I mean, just one of the other ones was just some missed opportunities that weren't found in the drawings for the demolition drawings didn't quite match the construction drawings. So one of them is for doing demolishing an entry door between the facilities maintenance office and the mechanical room. For that was one for about $5,500, and then we're also demolishing an obsolete vault within the town clerk's vault that we're looking to remove, so it allows the town clerk better use of his interior vault.
Thank you.
Yeah, unfortunately, we had a great vault inside the vault. Unfortunately, my safe guy was not ever able to repair it, and it's just like a tower of concrete with the safe kind of set into that. So unfortunately, just rather than leave the non-functional thing there, we'll do it. And frankly, the one we secured for this building will go back home with us. So we'll reutilize the one I got as a bargain. We'll bring it back.
This sounds good. Anything else? We have a motion. It's been seconded. Hearing none, Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. I'm going to move right down to the town attorney. Nothing we haven't already talked about tonight.
Thank you, Supervisor. Nothing to report. One executive session item for matters involving the employment of particular persons.
Sounds good. Town clerk.
Just briefly, looks like been on vacation this week, but monitoring the emails, it looks like they're still working on the school tax bills at the county. So I would be very surprised if those get mailed before Friday. Collection starts on Tuesday here at ESU. We got the drop box still at Town Hall. It's at the front of the building, at the front doors of the police court wing. So we moved that before we moved, knowing human nature, and I knew people would continue to try to go to the back of the building. So we moved it up a cycle to get them used to it. Didn't really work. People kept trying to get through the fences at the beginning of the year to get to where the box used to be, despite all the updated documents and everything. I changed the picture on the website, put a big circle around where it is on the front of the building, so hopefully that'll help. But it is at door number 2, which is the front entrance to the police and court wing. And then also mail, of course, as well as an option. But again, we'll start accepting payments Tuesday morning, 9 o'clock.
Thank you. Matters of the board. Hearing none, then can I have a motion to go into executive session to discuss the employment of a particular person in the police department?
Bill, I move that we go into executive session to discuss the employment of a particular person in the police department.
Second.
Dan, please call the roll.
Councilmember Werner?
Aye.
Councilmember Corrado?
Aye.
Councilmember Salzman?
Aye.
Supervisor Mealy?
Aye. I don't anticipate that we'll be coming back into public session. Again, I want to thank our ASL interpreters, and we will see them and you back here in 2 weeks on September 10th for our next town board meeting, 7 o'clock right in this room. Have a good evening, Have a good and safe Labor Day, and remember the reason for Labor Day, and honor the workers of our community and our nation. See you at the parade. Have a great evening.